Hi, in this video we will see how to use the sample data source on Instadeq to explore some of the features. We will explore the visualizations and the dashboards, and we will leave the input forms for later. So we start by clicking the new visualization button on the visualization section, and then the sample source on the source tab. It will generate in the configuration one new data item per second, which is okay. So we click create source and we go to the data tab. Here we can see the data as it happens. We have some fields from different types we can explore. So let's start with the simple one. We want to display some data, so first we have to calculate some values out of it. So we have some location information and a total here. So first we have to ask what we want to calculate. So let's say we want to calculate the total by continent. Let's imagine it's searches or access or sales. So we click and drag the total to the column placeholder and the continent to the key. So now we are calculating total by continent, and we can see here that for each continent we have some stats about the total field. We can, if we want to just count them, or if we want to calculate the average, we can select the kind of calculation we want to do on each column. Let's leave it at stats for now. So now that we have the data summarized, we can go to the chart section, the chart tab, and explore the visualizations that Instadeq provides. So the first one is a bar chart, which is okay. We can use the keyboard, the arrow keys on the keyboard to change between them. So we have a calendar chart that requires some extra configuration, a funnel chart, a gauge image, a land map, which will load a map shortly. It's taking a while. There it is. And an odometer, a pie chart, a progress bar, and a table, and a time series, and a tree map. So let's select the pie chart, and we can see that it's displaying the sum of the totals. So the sum of all the totals that happen. If we want to change it, we can come here and say, let's say we want to display the average. So we drop it here, and now we are displaying the average by continent. We can expand the show advanced settings for the chart and do some extra configuration. We can configure the color, or for example the radius of the pie chart, the inner radius, so we can change it to a donut chart. And if we want to place the labels for the pie chart outside or inside, once we are happy with it, we can put the title and total by continent. We go to home and we want to do something a little bit different, so we can either start again from scratch, or we can clone the visualization we already did. So we go to summary and we want to do total by continent and category. So we drag category here and we drop it on key, and now we are calculating for each event that happens for each continent and category the stats. So it's a little bit different. So we go to the chart tab and we can see that the kind of charts that it recommends is different because it has more information. So we explore the available ones and we decide that a stacked series is okay, and we rename the chart to total by continent and category. And let's do one more. We saw that we have the country. Let's start from scratch again. Sample source, okay, data. We have the country here, so we can do total by country. And select the land map. And we can see that it displays total by country. And we can do another one we have some geolocation information here, so we can do total by location. So we drag the latitude, longitude, total by city, and go to the chart section, and we see that we have now different type of charts because we have more values. So it recommends a 3D line, a 3D map, a 3D scatter plot. We can explore it in 3D, and other ones. For example, this one is interesting, scatter plot. We will stay with the 3D map, and let's call it sales by location. And now let's explore something more advanced. Until now, the data we were using was already available on the events we had, but what if we had to do some calculations? So I will start again using the sample data source. Let's say we want to calculate the total, but add some tags or something. So we double click on total, and we get some options for that field. We can remove it, rename it, or set a formula. Let's select the formula, and we get something that looks like a calculator with different sections. What we want to do is a numerical calculation, so we stayed in the first section, and we want to do a multiplication. So we will multiply it by, let's say we want to add VAT tax of 19%, so we multiply it with 1.19. And now the changes section highlights, and we can see that we are setting the total to total by 1.19. So now we are calculating the tax. But we can do much more than that. For example, let's say here we have a list of individual items that are sold that has a price and a count. Let's say we want to calculate the total price per item. So we double click on the index of that item in the list, and we select the add new field to this record, and we name it total. And it opens the calculator again, and we want to do a multiplication of the price by the count. So we click OK, and now it's setting the total field of the first item of the list SKUs to the multiplication of the price by the count. But as you can see, it's for the first item. So we can see that here we have a total, but here we don't have it. We want it to apply to every item on the list. So what we do is we drag this item here, which represents every item on the list, not just the item 0, 1, or 2. And we drop it on the price field here. And it asks us if we want to apply it to a target too, so we apply it. And now it's calculating for every item. The total field is the multiplication of the price for that item, but the count for the item number 0. So we want to apply the index to that place too. So we drag it and drop it there. And now, as you can see, we're calculating the total for each of the items on the list. Now let's say we want to display the total, calculate total by origin, which is a field we have on each item. But right now we are calculating the total by origin of the first item, of the item 0. We want to do it for every item on the list. So again, we drag the iterator, and it says if we want to apply it to other paths with the same prefix, which is this one. And now it's doing for every item on the list, it's doing the calculation. And now we can select a bar chart, for example, and we can say something like total by origin. Now that we have 5 charts, we can go to dashboards and click new dashboard. And we have 5, so let's split this in half, and this one horizontally. We will put the 3D map here, the pie chart here, the land map, totals by origin, and the stack series. Let's make this a little bit bigger. And now let's see how it looks like. When we are happy with the result, we can put a name and sales dashboard. When we are happy with the result, we can click Settings, go to Share, select the sharing options, which are explained here. We will share it with only authenticated users, and we will get a link, which if we open, we can see the dashboard we can share with others. So this was a brief introduction to Instadeq using the sample data source. In other videos you can see how to use actual sources of data. And if you have any questions, just let me know.